So we'll start with a small recap of what happened yesterday. Now, Sita did the Lanka Pravesham, and Ravana gave all the account of Sita, you should be with me. See what all I have. And he showed everything and gave an account. These many Rakshasas I have, these many riches I have, these many Anganas I have, these are my wives, and these are the comforts you can enjoy if you choose to be with me. And don't think this is adharma to be with me. If you leave your incapable husband and come to me, this is all right, Sita, don't you worry, and all that. And he also recruits Bhayankara Rakshasa Stris, saying Nayana Bhayana. Use all Sama, Dana, Veda, Danda, Upayas to somehow prod this young lady into liking me. And Sita, just being Sita, he calls her Biru. Oh, the one who is trembling with fear. Oh, Biru, like that Ravana calls. But Sita, in her trembling fear, but anchored in Rama Bhakti, she actually says, oh, Ravana, you know, don't you tell you are a great one, you are a courageous one, you have this much bravery and all that. Given that you stole me when Rama and Lakshmana are not there, in their absence you came to Rama Ashrama, that itself shows how powerful you are. Okay, if you are really strong, then see the valor of Rama, be in a duel with Rama, and then deal with me. Don't you talk about your valor with me. And she actually takes a note of everything, and we can see, even though she is in that state of agony there is this future episodes that all the accounts that Ravana showed are to be destroyed. She says, if you touch a Pativrata like me, all your riches, including you, anything that is associated with you is going to be destroyed. And Rama is a Sharanagata Vatsala. You made a mistake you have done. However, we have Rama who is always forgiving. Now go back to Rama and give me to him, and you enjoy all the comforts with your wives and all that. Everything will be preserved for you. But if you don't listen to this, you get ready for your destruction. And Ravana is not ready to listen. And he says to the Rakshasanganas, 1 year time. Sita, I'm giving you 1 year time. If you accept me as your husband by then, it's good for you. If not, you will become a meal for me. You will be cooked and served as a meal for me. And he leaves. And Rama, in Rama Ashramam, after killing Maricha, he comes back and he's looking for Sita everywhere. And he is in that distress when he doesn't see his beloved in the ashram. And he goes through Bhayankara Virahagni, where he goes from utter hopelessness to little hope, and then utter hopelessness, hallucinations, and all the things of just losing his something that is so precious to him, Prana Sama. It's as if he lost his breath, as if he lost his vital prana. He becomes so helpless. And we see the wise counseling of Lakshmana giving Rama the guidance. What Rama has told Lakshmana in the times of equanimity, when Rama was in a good state of mind, what all coaching Rama has given Lakshmana, now it comes handy. Lakshmana says, Rama, you used to say, and he gives the same thing back to Rama. Sometimes in our life, when we are going through some things, it's not that we do not know. Somehow it just doesn't occur to us that, you know, you have that strength in you. You can see this through, but somehow you should hear it from others. Then click, something will happen to you where it clicks. And here Lakshmana plays that wise counsel for Rama and brings him out of this hopelessness. There are many places where Rama says, oh, Lakshmana, maybe my beloved is playing hide and seek with me. Let me see. Maybe she is there. Sita, hey Sita, please don't play this with me. Enough is enough. Games are games. I know whenever I come, the way you welcome me with your warm smile, Sita, I want to see you like that. And all the episodes of where Rama searches and searches and searches. And finally, when he, from the anguish to anger happens, the ultimate anger happens, he wants to destroy the entire universe. He says, I'm capable of doing this. If the Panchabhutas did not help me to show where my beloved is, if the Mrigas did not show me, if the Vanadevatas did not show me, if the rivers are not showing me, if the Surya and Chandra are not showing me, if none of the universe is cooperating for the dharma paripalana that I'm doing, what use is this dharma? I'm going to end this universe. And Lakshmana, he will say, Rama, if some one person has committed a crime, then how is it fair or justified the action of you destroying the universe? You are capable of that, no question about it. However, right now, what we need is enthusiasm. What we need is energy. What we need is hope to actually look for Sita everywhere. How do you know in this universe if Sita is already there somewhere that you do not know? Won't she be destroyed too? Don't you think we should search for her? What you are doing is not right, Rama. Please come to your senses and think about it again. And Rama, from his anger, he calms down and says, yes, let's look for Sita. And then all the Mrigas, he's asking, oh Mrigas, you know, you are the animals that my Sita played with. Please tell me where my Sita is. Please tell me where my Sita is. And the Mrigas helplessly look at the sky and look in the south direction and they keep running. So now with that clue, they go towards the south direction and they see Jatayu, and Jatayu in his bloodshed body. Rama somehow in this state of hopelessness, he thinks Jatayu might have killed Sita. And he makes that serious crime of thinking, how can Jatayu kill Sita when he actually gave his life away for Sita? But when he sees the blood right now, he's in a state of mind, somebody ate Sita, somebody took away Sita, something happened to Sita. So even when Jatayu, the protector of, who says, I am your father's friend and I will be here to protect you and your ashram. When you're not around, I am the one who will take care of Sita and all that. Now Jatayu is in the state of last breath. And when Rama comes to Jatayu, he asks, if your prana is permitting, I know you're in a feeble state right now, but if your prana is permitting, can you please tell me what happened to my Sita? Then he says, Rama, you know, Ravana has taken away and he has done this mischief, and I have killed his charioteer. I have destroyed his chariot. I have caused immense injury to Ravana. And whatever I could do in my capacity, I tried to do, Rama, but I'm no match to him. I'm not young anymore. And but I put up a fight. It was not easy for him to take away Sita. But this is what happened. And he took away Sita in the Muhurtam called Vinda. In this Vinda, if somebody loses something precious at that time, the beauty of this Muhurtam is you will get back. The owner will get back the precious thing that they have lost. And whoever have stolen it or tried to cause harm to the precious thing will be destroyed. So it is Ravana who took your Sita, and you will get your Sita back. May the victory be yours and may you be united. And then Jatayu breathes his last breath. And Rama, he says, the distress that I am going through right now is so immense of losing Sita. However, losing Jatayu, now suddenly I thought I will not see a distress as big as losing Sita. Now losing Jatayu is making me so much, I'm in so much pain losing Jatayu that now I'm in this state, Lakshmana, I lost my dad, I lost my kingdom, I am away from my mother, I lost my beloved wife, and my brothers are somewhere, I do not have Rajyam, and my Dharma Paripalana is not coming to my rescue. What is this, Lakshmana? And then Lakshmana again solaces Rama, please don't be distressed. Now let's do what is necessary. Because, you know, Jatayu told it is Ravana. Now we need to go find where Sita is. And then Rama asks Lakshmana, please prepare the funeral pyre for Jatayu. And I want to do the funeral rites myself to repay for what he has done. So in a kavyam, there is a sthulaksharam, gross meaning, and a subtle meaning. So we always have to see the hridayam of what is going on. It looks like Jatayu might have seen an awful death by putting up a fight with Ravana for Sita. But for doing that, for just 1 hour of his life, which ended in that much agony, he gets the highest rights. No other creature gets final rights from Rama Parabrahma or Parabrahma Swarupam in any avatar. Now Jatayu gets the final rights from Rama, not just the rituals, but he actually utters all the mantras that send the body to Divya Lokas. And he says, may you attain these lokas, and he utters all these things. And Valmiki in his Ramayana very beautifully depicts that whatever Rama said happened is what he will actually qualify the things with. Rama doesn't know if he attained, but Valmiki knows that he attained because he is able to see with Brahmavaram. So what all Rama has wished for Jatayu, the highest place Jatayu has attained. With this, we stopped our session yesterday. Now we will take it further. So now they know Ravana is the one who took. Now they know south is the direction, and they are ready to go to from Dandakaranya, they are going south. Now from the Janasthana. Then as they keep progressing, suddenly the forest becomes so dark and so it is ominous. Something very awful is going to happen, kind of gloomy situation happens in the forest, and something is Rama, he's a Nipuna in Shakuna Shastra. When he killed the Maricha, when there was a fox that is doing on his back, behind him, and how his left side of the body shudders, he's like, something awful is happening, and he foresees that. It's something like that. When he sees this, he says to Lakshmana, something awful is going to happen. Lakshmana, you be ready. Let's be ready for what's going to happen. And that's where a big, huge Rakshasa by name Kabandha is in the forest. Now, Kabandha is a very strange Rakshasa. He doesn't have legs and a big torso or anything. There is no neck for him. So his torso is the only thing he has, where there is a small mouth-like thing. And he has huge bahus, which are like almost miles length. Huge bahus and a big mouth and just a small torso. I mean, by small, I mean the torso only and no legs. And he cannot move anywhere. But he will be in one place, and his bahus are the one that actually grab whatever he wants in the forest and gets them. So now when they enter the forest, Rama and Lakshmana enter the forest. Now Kabandha will take them in his bandha. He will take Rama and Lakshmana in his bahus, and he is holding them in tight grip. And now again, Rama will go back to his thing. Just now, little hope entered that he can do something. And again, another Vipattu came, Apada came to him again. And now Rama starts again. My king, my father, I am son of so-and-so, Ikshvaku Vamsha. What is happening to me, Lakshmana? Again, see what is happening. Now we are in the embrace of this Rakshasa. What to do, Lakshmana? My beloved is gone. I'm trying to do something about it. And what is this in the meantime? And he goes into that state of agony that, maybe Kaika wanted this. This is how my life will end. Like that, Rama is again going into that state of helplessness and agony. Then Lakshmana and Kabandha, after Lakshmana is saying, Rama, don't you worry. I think we should do something about it. Lakshmana is going to counsel. And then Kabandha, he's like, you look like kings. What is this state of dire state? Like crying. You fools, do some, can't you do anything about yourselves? Like that, he talks in a very rash manner. And suddenly Lakshmana, Lakshmana, how he gets stirred up. It's like, who are you to talk about how we are? We will show who we are. And he says, Rama, let's chop his hands off. Right now, he is taking great pride in who he is with his hands. Let's do this. The minute he hears hands chopped off, this Rakshasa is suddenly happy. Finally, somebody came to kill me and take me out of this state. And he is the son of Diti by name Davana. He is blessed with a long lifespan by Brahma with his tapas. However, with his when he has this potential of of tapas and all that, he misuses it by how we do like that to all the try to scare people suddenly, and Halloween masks and all that. He goes to a rishi, Sthula Shirasa, and in a very Vikruta Rupa, he will go and say bow or like that. He's causing this thing of all the distress to people with this weird faces and weird akaras that he takes. He gets great pleasure in doing all this mischief, taking Vikruta Rupas. Now the Muni says, okay, you have this much pleasure to be Vikruta, be as a Vikruta. And he says, you will, now he has the boon of long life. Now he has the shapa of Vikruta Rupa. Now he has another fight with Indra, where with Indra with his Vajrayudha gives him a smash, his head goes into his torso. And now his legs are also squished into his torso. Now he is like, what is this with this Vikruta Rupa? And now I have to live this long life, and I do not have legs, I do not have hands, I cannot go hunt. How will I live? And he says, okay, that Rishi says, don't you worry, Rama is going to come. When you get killed by Rama, that's when you will get your Purva Rupa. Now, Lakshmana and Rama chop his hands off. And this guy, the arrangement is, you will have long hands. You don't need to go anywhere. You will just be like a torso somewhere in that the most Vikruta Rupa you can think of. And Kabanda simply sees where any animal is or any human is or anything like that, and puts it in his torso. The mouth that is in his torso, he puts in it. So it is a very Vikruta darshana to even think of. Now Rama and Lakshmana chop his hands off. And then he says, oh, now I know who you are. If you burn me up, I will get my Divya Rupa, Purva Rupa, Divya Rupa, and I will be able to help you. Now, imagine this. There is a promise of telling something that will help you, but you do not know. If you burn him up, if he's like any other Rakshasa, what will happen? There is this thing of he knows something, but he cannot help until he gets his Purva Rupa. And Rama and Lakshmana are in this fix of what to do now. But again, Rama being Rama, he says, okay, let's do what is needed. And they will kill him. And at that time, Kabandha, he attains his Purva Rupa. And he says, I cannot help you directly, saying, I will get you Sita and all that. However, I know somebody who will help you find Sita. And he is a Dharmagnya like you, Rama. And he is going through a great pain. And people who have gone through a certain type of suffering in their life, when other people go through that, they will have that empathy. They know what that suffering is. So there is this Prabhu, Vanara Prabhu, Sugriva. You should do Maitri with him. And he is in so and so place. So you take this route, take that path and go there and do Maitri for him, with him, and do Agni Sakshi Maitri. You should have a witness for your Maitri Balam, that the promise that you make for each other. Take up this friendship and you both will benefit immensely, is what he says. He also says, beautiful description of the entire path to Sugriva is described and says, here there is a beautiful pond. You should see the fish in this pond. There is a beautiful tree. You should not miss the beauty of that tree. Like that, he will describe so many things and says, you should eat that fish. you should eat this thing, and all these things you should enjoy in this path, and go there. You will find Sugriva and make friendship. With this, we end our Aranyakanda. Now we are entering Kishkindha Kanda. Now Rama and Lakshmana, knowing that there is somebody who will help them to find where Sita is, they are walking, and take all the path that Kabandha has told. And now they are coming to the Rishyamukha Parvata. This is the Parvata where Sugriva is with 5 other Vanaras, and he is on that Parvata. The minute Rama and Lakshmana are walking in the Muni Veshadhari, but with the Dhanurdhari. They have the bow and arrow, however, they are looking like tapasis. Now they are going towards Sugriva for refuge and friendship. And now Sugriva there is in utter distress. The fact that somebody is holding Dhanush itself is driving him crazy. Now he just gets up, and the monkey that he is, he becomes so restless and jumps from here, goes to that tree, comes back, and does all kinds of things to show that he is unable to bear this nervousness, and he's so anxious. And then Hanuma, the minister of Sugriva, goes to Sugriva and says, something is going on with you, Sugriva. I think you are showing that you are a Vanara. Why? When there is no cause for a fear, if you are fearful, then something is not right. What you are doing right now, what is causing you so much distress? This is Rishyamukha Parvata. And why are you in such distress? What's happening with you? And this is where the Bhayam, removal of Bhayam is starting. Hanuma, the role that he plays, he is the Shoka Agni Dahana. Anywhere he goes, he removes the distress only. So now Sugriva, he says, my brother Vali and I have some enmity. Now I think my brother sent these 2 people to kill me. And the story of why there is enmity will come shortly. But he says, I think Vali sent these 2 to kill me. And looking at them, that tejas in them, they can kill me. So I think I will be killed. And this is causing me so much restlessness. Can you do something about it? Hanuma, go to them and find out who they are. And why are they coming to this part of the mountain? Can you do something about it, Hanuma? This is causing so much restlessness. And Hanuma says, oh Prabhu, I will go find out their whereabouts and come to you. However, until then, until I give a signal that something is going to happen, don't you worry. Please be in a peaceful state, and I am going to find out who they are. And now Hanuma takes the Vikshuka Rupa, like a brahmachari, but Manava Rupa. He takes Manava Rupa from Vanara Rupa. He is a Kama Rupi. Now takes the Manava Rupa and comes to Sri Rama and Lakshmana. And goes to them and starts a conversation. This is a very auspicious moment in Ramayana, where Hanuma is seeing Rama for the first time in such a close proximity. He says, who are you 2? You look like tapasis, and you have bow and arrow in your hands. But your bahus, if anybody looks at your bahu, they are there to do some samharam only. They are not just cosmetic. They are very beautiful. Your bahus are so beautiful. Your gait is so beautiful. And there is so much radiance coming out of your faces. You look like tapasis, but wearing bow and arrow. These are conflicting with each other. Conflict of interest is there in how you look and what you are exuding in your appearance. So can you please let me know who you are and why you are coming towards this place? And he says, I'm talking to you. How come you are not responding? And he asks beautiful questions in a beautiful shloka. Now, the beauty of Hanuma and Rama is that when somebody speaks or when they see somebody, they know the potency of that person. So what that person is capable of, what that being is capable of. So when Hanuma sees Rama, he is able to see the potency. And Rama is the same way. He can see the potency of what a being is capable of. So, but here Rama turns to Lakshmana and says, a person, unless they are the Navavyakarana Pandita, will not have this much of spacing between the words when they speak, the diction, how they are rendering their sentences, how their facial expressions are. Like when some people speak, it is too much of excitement, like the eyebrows go up and down, and their tone goes up and down, and all that. And the spacing between the words is also in a certain way. However, when people who are Navavyakarana Panditas and who have immense musical knowledge, when they are rendering something, depending on the situation, if it should go up, if it should be in medium, if it should be low, they know how to utter each and every phonetic and syllable, what sthai should be used. And unless somebody is a Navavyakarana Pandita, they cannot speak like this. Unless you are a Navavyakarana Pandita, you will not be able to recognize somebody is Navavyakarana Pandita, right? So we know Rama is Navavyakarana Pandita. He knows how to speak and all these things. So he recognizes that in Anjaneya, in just few sentences that he speaks. And he says, "Oh Lakshmana, when you are speaking with him, please pay attention on how you respond to him. He is somebody who is going to help us. He came as a Duta from his Prabhu. So please respond to him carefully." Rama doesn't respond to Hanuma directly. He asks Lakshmana to respond to to Hanuma, but he actually says how to respond. Now Lakshmana again, Ramakatha is going to start. He says, we are Ikshvaku Vamshasthas. And so looks like Prashant is telling me the voice is not good. Is it my internet connection unstable?
I think so, Andy.
Okay. Yeah. Let me change my connection for a quick second. Today we cannot afford for such technical difficulties.
I thought it was only me.
Sorry about that.
I didn't want to interrupt you at all. Like the flow was so beautiful.
Okay.
Same here.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So is this any better? I changed it to my cell phone internet.
Yes. Yeah. We would only know after, because the lag is for every 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Yeah. There was a few seconds lag. So we would come to know as you speak.
It will freeze for 2-3 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
So now Lakshmana is giving the description of, we are Ikshvaku Vamshasthas, and for Satyavakya Paripalana of to stand on Dashratha's words, that the boons he has given, he consciously willingly chose to leave to the forest. And now some Rakshasa abducted his beloved, and he is going through that separation from his beloved, and he is suffering immensely from it. And we are looking for Sugriva, because we were told we are coming for Sharanagati. Rama is going to do Sharanagati to Sugriva right now. Think of the situations in life where, you never know whom you have to go and seek help from. Now, and in the midst of the conversation, Hanuma sheds his Manava Rupa and takes his Vanara Rupa and says, I am the minister of Sugriva. And he doesn't want to be in that false Rupam before Rama and Lakshmana anymore. And he says, my Prabhu is also going through something similar. And may your friendship flourish. Let me take you both to my Prabhu. And the beauty of it is he takes both of them and puts them on his shoulders and takes them to Sugriva. Now, see the beauty of Hanuma's forward thinking. Sugriva is in such distress and conversation is happening in a distance, but he does not know what's happening. Now, how does Hanuma convey that they are on your side? Don't you worry. So he is bringing them himself on his bahus. So without actually saying any word to Sugriva, he is reassuring. Sugriva, don't you worry. I have done the test and they are on your side and I'm bringing them. So all this is happening. Communication is happening where assurance is happening without uttering a single word. And then after coming to the Sugriva's place, now Hanuma introduces Sugriva and Rama to each other. And he cuts a big tree and Sugriva gives Rama a seat. And Hanuma, being Hanuma, he knows how precious Lakshmana is for Rama. And Lakshmana is standing, Rama is sitting. That's not good, right? Just because you are a king, but you are with the king, but you don't get that treatment. So Hanuma gets a Chandana Vriksha and he cuts the Chandana Vriksha and places it for Lakshmana, saying, please take your seat. And now they are seated and the conversation starts. There, Sugriva is asking Rama, what happened? What's going on with you? And Rama says, Sugriva, I'm here as your refuge. This is what happened. I'm son of so-and-so and I am in the forest and my beloved is abducted by a Rakshasa and I do not know her whereabouts and I'm still searching for her. I do not know where she is. And Sugriva, being in the same state, he says, oh Rama, I understand what you are going through because I'm in similar state, Rama. My wife is also taken away by my elder brother. And I am trembling in fear to keep myself alive. And I am on this Parvata. And he says, talks about the enmity. Now, Rama wants to know, what is the enmity between you and your brother? How come there is this enmity where your brother wants to kill you? And then Sugriva describes all that happens. Now, Vali is the son of Indra and Sugriva is the Aurasa Putra. Like it is their Amsha of Surya Bhagavan. So now when Vali has immense strength, and to just do his Sandhya Vandanam, he will, before sun rises, like the 6 minutes of that happens, he will give the Arghya in 4 directions, 4 oceans. One jump, this ocean, give the Arghya to Surya when he's coming up in this direction. Next ocean, next jump, Arghya from that ocean, another jump in another direction, like that. Vali is that powerful. And in this Ramavatara, he has done his part of ending some Rakshasas himself. But he also takes that Adharma path at some point. He is even more powerful than Ravana. Ravana, in fact, actually seeks friendship of Vali. At one point when Ravana wants to keep a fight with Vali, Vali finds, oh, you want to do something? And he actually wraps him in his tail and does all the Samudra Langana and comes back and sheds him from his tail. And Ravana is like an insect only. He's like, what happened to me just now? I thought I'm so powerful. What happened? And then he says, okay, Vali, you and me friendship. Now Ravana is smart. If he takes friendship, that way he will not be killed. So he knows that Vali is capable of doing. If not, Vali is a Vanara too. He can be killed by Vali, but Ravana takes that friendship route with Vali and says, you and I are friends. Can we be friends? Whatever is mine is yours. Whatever is yours is mine. Kind of friendship happens between Vali and Ravana. And the point of the conflict between Vali and Sugriva happens because there is a Rakshasa by name Dundubhi. Dundubhi has a son called Mayavi. Now, one day, Mayavi comes and there is a fight that goes on between Vali and Mayavi. So the fight goes on and on and on and on. And then they enter a guha, a big cave and a huge tunnel. And Vali tells Sugriva, being his brother, he says, I'm going to see the end of this Mayavi. Until I come back, you be here near the opening of the cave, entrance of the cave, and just be there. I will go kill him and come back. Now a year passes. So much of fighting. Sounds happen. Who is shouting what from where in that tunnel? You cannot hear if it is Vali who is in trouble or if it is Mayavi in trouble. And it is more than a year that they fight. Now, after a year, there will be that warm blood flowing out of the guha. Now, Sugriva is scared that Mayavi has done something to Vali. And he closes the guha with the big rocks, thinking that, Vali is now dead and Mayavi is going to cause destruction in the kingdom. So he closes the guha and he comes back to his kingdom. All the people in the kingdom think Vali is now dead because Sugriva tells this is what happened in the past 1 year and Vali did not come out, blood came out of it. So I think Vali is dead. So they coronate Sugriva as the king and says, they forcefully do that. Sugriva is not ready to become the king, but they say, now you be the king. Now, Tara, the wife of Vali, is also belongs to Sugriva because in their dharma of the animal kingdom, when you do not have husband, you can seek another husband. So Tara goes to Sugriva and now he is enjoying his life with Ruma and Tara as the king. Now Vali comes back and sees his wife taken by Sugriva and he sees the kingdom. He is being coronated as the king. And he is so angry, and he beats him up. And Sugriva is actually telling him, oh, brother, you are back. Oh, my God, you are alive. I did not know that you are alive, Vali. This is your kingdom. I'm so sorry for the mishap that happened, the confusion that happened. This is what happened. You were in that for a long time. And when the blood flowed out of it, I was afraid Mayavi might have killed you. And he says, you think Mayavi, anybody in this world can kill me? What is this nonsense? I will not believe. You did this intentionally only. And he beats him up and he sends him away. So this will come in the future episode, but I will cover it now. In Vali scares Sugriva so much that Sugriva does the Bhu Pradakshina of finding a place to just take refuge in. So many times he goes through the entire world just to find a place where he can hide. And Vali has the Mayavi's father, Dundubhi, also had a fight with Vali. And Dundubhi goes, he has so much strength and he goes to Samudra and says, I have this much strength. I want a duel with you. Can you come fight? He says, I am a Sagara. I know you are strong. I have no match to you. I think Himavanta, the mountains, can put a fight with you. You should go and ask for a fight with mountains. Now Dundubhi goes to Himavanta and says, I'm so capable. I'm so itching for a fight, duel. Can you fight with me? And Himavanta says, I am the asthana for all these ashramas. How can I put a fight with you? I think, if you're so itching for a good fight, somebody who will give a good fight to you and you enjoy the fight, it is Vali. You should go to Vali. Now, Dundubhi comes to Kishkinda and says, is there anybody, any man, masculine energy here who can put a duel with me? And Vali is like, what is your nonsense now? And do you really want a fight? Let me put a fight. And he has gives him a good fight, and then wraps him up and kills him and throws him. When he throws him, he goes and falls in Matanga Maharshi ashrama, in that ashrama. And now Matanga Maharshi, who is in this state of penance, when that Raktabindus fall, he's like, whoever has done this mischief, if they step onto this mountain, or if they are anywhere in this periphery of this mountain, they will die. Now it is Vali, because he threw the dead body with carelessness, just threw it, and it so happens that it falls in that ashrama. Then now he is like, Vali, okay, this mischief happened. He goes to Matanga Maharshi and says, I'm sorry, I'm the one who caused this. Can you please take your curse back? No way, I'm not taking it back. If you enter, you or anybody who is loyal to you only enters this place, they will die. And now Vali, he will go anywhere in the world, but Rishyamukha Parvata, he will not enter that place. Now when Sugriva is going through all these Bhupradakshinas of where can I find a place, where can I find a place, where can I find a place, Hanuma tells, oh Sugriva, don't you remember the Shapa that Vali got? You know, why run all these places? Let's be on the Rishyamukha Parvata. This is the place where Vali will never enter or dare to enter. You should be on this place. So now Vali and the Rishyamukha Parvata also has this divine capability that if somebody goes onto that Parvata with Durbuddhi, they cannot live there. Like they cannot even enter that place. So that Parvata itself is like that. So now if Sugriva with his 5 ministers who are supporting Sugriva are with him, they are all Dharmagnyas. That itself is the testimony for their Dharma. Now, and Sugriva is telling Rama, this is the Vairam that I had with my brother. My brother wants to kill me for what happened, in spite of me telling him that it is not my fault. This is what happened to me. Now Rama says, and because Sugriva took Tara as his wife, not knowing that Vali was alive, now forcefully Vali takes Sugriva's wife. Forcefully, he is now the husband of Sugriva. And Sugriva is in so much love with Ruma, and he is going through that pain of his own brother taking away his wife from him. Now Rama listens to this story and says, when you and I are in the same state of agony, I can kill your brother. He's a adharma right now, adharmagnya. I will put an end to him. Now, Rama is also, Sugriva wants to test Rama. Do you know what you're talking about, Rama? I'm so happy that you are saying you will kill my brother and give me prana bhiksha. Along with my patni, I want prana bhiksha. I'm dying with fear every day. Like whatever I see, it's almost like Vali sent him to just end my life. Can you do something about it? Then Sugriva is telling, Vali is capable of so many things, Rama. You say you are so much capable and you will end my brother's life, but I want to see how capable you are. Now he's doing pariksha to Bhagavan himself, Rama Prabhu. And Rama Prabhu obliges. And he says, what is it that I can do? And he shows the Shava, the dead body of Dundubi. This is what the huge dead body that is there is of Dundubi. If you just move it few inches, because it is a huge Kalibara, move it a few inches, I will know that, you are, at least you stand a chance. I want to know if you stand a chance. Now Rama obliges, and with his Padangushta, with his big toe, he just does that. And the dead body flies 80 miles away and falls. 80 miles. And Sugriva is suddenly hopeful, but again, you know what, Rama? When my brother did this, Dundubi's dead body was full of blood, full of body is full of weight. Now, when you did this, I'm not sure how big the body. First, he wanted just the 1 inch movement of that body. Now, even if it went 80 miles, it is another test. He wants something else. Now, when you think about it, this is an example of all of us. Oh, Bhagavan, can you do this for me? Oh, Bhagavan, can you do that for me? All the transactions that happen between us and Bhagavan. So total surrender did not happen yet. This is okay. If you do this, I will do this for you. If you fulfill this for me, I will do this for you. And testing. Are you capable? Can you do this for my family? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? All these transactions. And this is the story of Sugriva. He is doing this testing of Bhagavan. If you do this, I will believe in you. If you do this, I will believe in you, kind of thing. Now he gives another test. And he says, okay, you see these trees? If you can break one tree, with your bana, I want to see, this is your body strength, right? I want to see your arrow strength. Is there any strength in your arrows? That dhanus, I want to see you in action with that dhanus. So with this, we'll stop here. And how Rama proves his dhanush is a beautiful thing of the path that the dhanus takes and what it does and how it comes back and all that. Is a beautiful small episode which we will continue tomorrow. And a brief mention of Matanga Ashrama in the end episode of Aranyakanda. Before we come to this place of Kishkindha, I wanted to rush to Kishkindha a bit fast and wanted to give a glimpse of Matanga Ashram first and go back to Shabari. So the final episode of Aranyakanda is Rama meeting Shabari and Shabari offering the fruits to Rama, which we will see briefly tomorrow, and we'll continue with the story of Rama Banam and the test that Rama Banam goes through from Sugriva.